Okay, you guys. So look, tribe. I'm gonna try something new. All right. I am a huge Big Brother fan. And so the new season of Big Brother started today. And so I think I'm going to review Big Brother. Now, I don't know how this is going to go over. You know, Big Brother comes on like 3 times a week. Sometimes they have double shows and all that other stuff. So, and I'm really tapped into like the Twitter Big Brother community because, like I said, I'm a huge Big Brother fan, and every season I get into, talking to people online and so forth about it and everything. So, we're gonna see how it goes, right? But for right now, so the first episode was tonight. It's Big Brother 20, so they're doing their whole 20th season and all that stuff. So they, if you watch Big Brother, you know what I'm talking about. They've got a whole lot of twists and turns. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just go through who's on the show, because for the first couple of weeks, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know all these people. It's a lot. It's 16 people. That's a lot of people to keep up with. But we're gonna go over it, and then we'll talk about the competitions tonight. And it's a double premiere, so tomorrow will be the second half of the premiere because nobody got evicted or anything tonight. Now, for the people who don't know anything about Big Brother, but you want to kind of follow my reviews, let me give you a brief overview. Big Brother is a reality, it's a competition reality show where you're in this house and you live in this house. I think it's 9 weeks, well, 99 days. If you make it all the way to the end, you've been in the house for 99 days. And they have competitions to see who's going to be head of household. If you become head of household, then you get to nominate 2 people up for eviction. And then the house votes on who to evict. Now, that is a very basic overview. Of course, there are competitions, there are twists and turns, because you can once you're nominated to be put up for eviction, then you can compete in something called the power of veto competition. And if you win the power of veto, then you get to save yourself from eviction. But again, there are a lot of twists and turns, and people have alliances, and they have showmances, and it's just a lot. The other thing is there are no outside world stuff. There's no social media, no phones, no TV. The only books you're allowed to bring are the religious books, so the Bible or the Quran, and that's it. If you win head of household, then you can get like a CD to listen to, like your favorite CD to listen to for the week, and you get a letter from home. And sometimes they have competitions where you can go like see a movie, or they have like it's always a movie that they're advertising, that's connected to the show, that kind of stuff, product placement stuff. So anyway, that's the basic overview of the show. So tonight we see who the new guests are that are going to be staying in the house. And so it's 16 people all together. So I'm just going to go down the names really quickly. So we have Sam. She's a welder. Her thing is she's cute. She's from West Virginia. I mean, excuse me, she's from Virginia. And she is a woman in a male dominated field. She lives in a trailer on her mom's property. She's cute though. She's real cute. Tyler is a lifeguard who is a self-proclaimed airhead. Like, his thing is, my biggest asset is not my brain. Like, I'm not that smart, but I think he's playing. Like, I ain't never met anybody that tells you they dumb. So I'm thinking that, I don't know, but we'll wait and see because he might really be dumb. Bailey, she's a former Miss Missouri, has competed in Miss USA. Now, let me tell you something about Miss Bailey. I don't know if I like Miss Bailey. Miss Bailey calls herself a princess. She got a stank little attitude. She's currently a flight attendant, and she was already talking about how she deals with whiny people all day long, talking about her customers and how she tries her best to not deal with people as often as possible. So, like, I don't know how I feel about her. But we're going to wait and see. She might end up being a really sweet person. Who knows? They always have like an older guy. Or older person, I should say. It usually ends up being a guy, though. But Steve is that guy this year. He's 40 years old. He's a retired New York City Police Department. Detective. He's worked in narcotics and undercover. And he's currently a professor at a college where he teaches criminal justice. But, of course, he's telling everybody that he's a mechanic because he doesn't want people to know that he has that undercover background, law enforcement background. Caitlin is a life coach, but she's 24 years old. I got a problem going to a life coach that's 24 years old. What life you coaching me on? Boo. Anyway. And she's all about your chakras and the aura of the house. So Winston is a medical device salesperson. He is a gun lover and all that good stuff. Angela, or Angie, she has an online business. She's also very athletic, very competitive. She actually was a champion pole vaulter. And did she go to the Olympics? Or she tried out for the Olympics? I don't know if she made it. JC is now JC. I don't know if I'm being politically correct right now, but JC is a little person. I know we're not supposed to say midget, so I know midget isn't correct. I think little person is the correct term. JC is also Latino, so he has a little accent. He's a cutie though, but he's a professional dancer. He's also a power lifter, and he also is a member of the LGBTQ community. That's how he introduced himself. I'm not saying it, he said it. Rachel is a Las Vegas showgirl. Chris is a day trader. He is also a former professional. I mean, excuse me, he was not professional. He's a former college basketball player. Chris is, he calls himself Swaggy C, which I'm not calling him swaggy nothing. But he's very arrogant. Very, very arrogant. And he's playing to the cameras. There were a couple of times in the episode where he specifically went into a room by himself and was talking out loud, knowing he was going to be on camera. He's playing to the cameras, but he's playing to the cameras. We have the first girl I think was named Angelica. So now we have Angie. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's also a festival planner or something like that. She's like real eccentric and likes, her hair is like purple and very eccentric, very eccentric. Brad is a cybersecurity engineer. He doesn't want people to know that he's smart. He's a cute guy too, little pretty boy. Casey, I like Casey. She's starting off to a little rocky start, but I like Casey. She plays professional women's tackle football. She's from San Diego. Scotty is a self-proclaimed nerd. He's never been kissed. He's never dated a woman. So we know that he's a virgin. And he works in retail sales. Haley is a full-time student, but lives on a farm. She goes to Texas A&M, and she lives on a farm, grew up on a farm. And then we have Thessel, who is a substitute teacher / football coach. He also played college football, and he's Muslim. Okay, so these are the people that are playing. And like I said, as you go on, you'll see where these personalities come into play, so forth and so on. So, the big thing this year is that they're doing the whole social media, computer, technology thing. Even though the players in the house can't have technology, but they're going to be using technology as part of the show, and that's like the big thing this year. So everything is going to be technology themed or something like that. So the first game they played was called Big Brother Supercomputer. They divided everybody into 2 teams of 8. So they had, and they had to be an even mixture of boy, girl. So it was like 4 boys, 4 girls, 4 boys, 4 girls. So the first 8, they had a competition where they were in all this slime. It was really nasty. They were in the dark, and they had to find folders. And out of the 8, there were only 7 folders. Out of the 7 folders, 6 of them said escape, but then 1 said escape and play. Because the person who got the escape and play, they got an opportunity to play, to be able to pick who the first 8 people that were going to be safe, meaning they couldn't be put up for eviction. But then the person who didn't get a folder at all was going to get a punishment. All right. The second 8 were playing a game where they were on these cables where they were hanging from the ceiling, and they would be lowered down where they could pick up letters, and they had to spell houseguests, but they had to stack it, as they were in the air, stack it on like a podium type thing, and whoever spelled it first without knocking it over, they won. And then it just went in order from there. So the last person to get theirs stacked up would get the punishment, right? So out of both teams, you were going to have a top, you were going to have a bottom. That's how it's going to work out. And the two top players were going to play against each other to see who would get to choose the first 8 players that were going to be safe. Got it? All right. Now, I ain't going to get into all the who's, and the what's. I'm just going to tell you who won. So, for the first team that was in all the slime, the person that won was Angela. And the person that was last who was going to have to get the punishment was Casey. Like I said, she's going off to a little rocky start, but I like Casey. Then on the other team, the top player was Chris, aka Swaggy C, and the bottom player was Sam, the welder. The one I was telling you was a welder. And she was going to have to get a punishment. Okay. Swaggy C, Chris, I said I wasn't going to call him that, didn't I? Chris and Angela had to play against each other. Now, Chris went to Angela before the game started, or Angie before the game started, to talk to her to say, look, let's make a deal with each other that no matter what happens, like whoever wins, we won't put the other person up. Because like basically you won this competition, you got to this point, we won't put each other up. And then the other, 7 people you choose to save, that's on you, or 6 people you choose to save, that's on you. Angela was like, well, I think the fairest way to do it would be to just save the 8 people that was on your team. That way there's no blood on your hands. Because see, early on in the game, you really don't want to make too many enemies. And even though you have to choose 8 people to save and 8 people you want to get rid of, what you don't want to do, you want to be able to give a good explanation as to why you chose who you chose. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what Angela was saying. She was like, the easiest way to do this would be just keep the 8 people you were playing with, and then that way nobody really gets upset with you, because that makes sense. That, okay, I'm going to keep the 8 people I played with. Because at this point, they've only known each other a couple of hours. They don't know each other to pick one way or the other. Well, Chris took it a totally different way. He was like, wait a minute, you going to stand in my face and tell me that you're not going to save me? Oh, okay. Well, then that means that I'm going to beat you now, and I'm not going to save you. Like, it is what it is. Cool, game on. And like I said, he's real arrogant anyway. But he won. I mean, he's arrogant with a reason. He won the competition, and he ended up winning this one too. So now he has to choose what 8 people he's going to save. Now, obviously, that's down to 7, because he's going to save himself. He had gotten real cool with, see, I gotta remember people's names. The flight attendant, the former Miss Bailey, the former Miss Missouri. He had gotten real cool with her because she kind of was telling him, look, you coming off a little strong. You might want to tone that down a little bit. You don't want to put a target on your back too soon. And he was like, cool, I appreciate her coming to me. That's my sis. Cool, that's my little sis. So he kind of wanted to save her. But then he thought about saving Angela, because he was like, even though she said she wasn't going to save me, she still was a really fierce competitor, and I respect that. But Big Brother always has twists. So the twist was he couldn't choose the 7 people he wanted to save. When they came into the house in groups of 4. So what he had to do was to choose which group of 4 he was going to save. Obviously, he was going to save the group he was in. So the 4 people that was in the group with him, they knew they were safe. The question was going to be what other group of 4 he was going to save. And again, Angela and Bailey are not in the same group of 4. So he had to make a really big decision and figure out who he was going to save. And if you watch Big Brother, you know that there was a whole thing where people were coming to him and pleading their cases and all that good stuff. But in the end, who he chose were the 8 people he came into the house with. Because he was like, I'm going to just choose the 8 people. Because he couldn't choose the people he played with, because they were all mixed up. They weren't all the same 4. So that was a way to, in his mind, to keep the least amount of blood on his hands, right? But of course, everybody thought he should have chose them. So, he's already pissed people off. Now, the punishment piece of it. So tomorrow night we're going to see, I guess, out of the 8 that he didn't save, I guess we'll see who is the first person to be evicted. Now, the 2 punishments. So Casey and Sam. Casey has to wear a unitard. Big Brother is, again, if you follow, Big Brother is good for a unitard. So she has to wear this rainbow color unitard type thing. And sorry. I forgot why I wasn't drinking it. It's too much sugar. Okay. So we have the unitard, but the catch with the unitard is every time it starts spinning, she has to stay in the room where she is until it stops spinning. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but the thing about Big Brother is, especially in the beginning, it's a social game. It's about getting to know people, letting people get to know you, and spending time with people and all of that. So if the thing starts spinning and she's stuck in, let's say she was in the bathroom, right? She can't leave the bathroom until it stops spinning. There could be a conversation going on outside that she should be a part of, or there could be a game happening that she can't participate in, right? So that could possibly hurt her game. Now the other Sam has turned into a robot. There's an actual robot that is walking around the house that she's somewhere in another part of the house that she can control, so she can see what's going on and she can talk and interact, but obviously she's not human and she's not there. Now the trick with hers is every time there's a signal, I forget what the signal is, she can go and switch out and come back into the house as herself. But whenever they give her the signal to go back, then she has to go back to wherever she's in seclusion and come back out as the robot. And again, this could potentially hurt her social game. Now they have to do this until the first live eviction, and the first live eviction is going to probably be Sunday. If it's going to probably be Sunday, because somebody's going to be evicted probably tomorrow, but that's already been pre-taped. I'm thinking the first live eviction will probably be Sunday. So that means they'll have to do this for the next 4 days. Right? Okay. So anyway, that was the first Big Brother. Again, we'll see how this goes. I'll see if anybody's looking at the videos. And if you watch Big Brother, tell me what you think. If you don't watch Big Brother, maybe this will encourage you to go look at it. It's a good show. I like it.